Well, if to be physical is to be constrained, less than the fullness that you can be on all planes, or at least less than the fullness you can be on all the other planes apart from the physical, then if God comes into the physical as an avatar, if you like, he's not going to appear as God. He's going to appear, especially to basically physical beings, just as something physical. In the case of matter, it's other matter that's in the way or not in the way. It's hot or it's cold. If you like, it's vibrating as matter does, or it's not, in which case it probably doesn't exist. Do you see, we're not to fix our devotion on, if you like, even the avatar, even the incarnation of God, because that's not the picture of the fullness of God. We are here to worship God. Or put it another way around, if we love God with all our heart, soul, mind and strength, and that includes our understanding, of course, in as far as we can, then that's the right way to go. It's not that we are right, it's just that that is the best way to go. That's the direction that is ideal, in that it's moving towards perfection. God will do the rest in arranging our present and future and even past accordingly. So it's important not to worship that which is manifest. We worship what is to us an unmanifested God. We can manifest more of him by focusing on whatsoever is good and lovely. And such good company will affect us to good. That's the thesis. That's the understanding. I don't mean there's no uncertainty in this view. You know, we're in a world of less than the fullness of God. But it sets us in the right direction. It's a bit like the principle of adhering to thinking of God as Dad. It does have problems. The gender issue is a problem. Does that mean I've missed out the qualities of Mum? That would be a shame. He's Mum and Dad. He made them male and female, not that he is male or female. Quite conceivably, he's both. And of course, you being you, with your experience, may have very bad experiences of dads, and the very mention of dad is not warm and tender as it might be for some. Could be austere, Victorian, distant, unloving in your experience. So it might not speak to you too well. Depends on our experience then on childhood. That sort of understanding of things. So I am to be devoted to the unseen. Clearly my conception of the ideal unseen may not be too good, and I find out quickly as regards to consequences in that case, and I seek to adjust my view of the unseen accordingly. But it's the unseen that I must be worshipping. The seen is going to be imperfect in an imperfect world. I'm going to see it imperfectly in an imperfect world because I see imperfectly. There's ignorance here, you see, there's incompleteness. You can see it as evil if you like, but that's possibly not too helpful. It's just incomplete. It's childishness. It's not the maturity yet. So I don't worship that which I see. I don't worship the guru, the teacher, the avatar, the so-called incarnation of God. I worship the unseen. And of course the values I ascribe to him are my present values, which may be chaotic. So I find out the consequences quite quickly and therefore start to adjust what my values are. You know, I change my values. Say, oh, it can't be that. That can't be right. Seem to value something else. Right, okay. So it's not that my view of the unseen is right. It's that my view of the unseen is the way to go. The personification of that which I see as good. Until I see it's not from my seeing or my experience. Or the influences I receive, the teachings, education. You know, I reconsider, think, oh, perhaps that's not what I value then. I don't value, you know, conquering and destroying the enemy. I value peace. And I may even value my enemy becoming my friend. How can this be achieved without harming me? Because there's certain things the enemy does that are extremely harmful from my point of view at present. Do you see, I'm worshipping the unseen. I haven't necessarily got the unseen view right yet. But that is the way to go. This is the way. I'm not the way. I'm not the goal. I might personify the way in that this is what I'm doing. And that's what you need to be doing in that sense. Life in the classroom here then in this universe of change, uncertainty, apparent good and evil, causes us to seek out the good and move from the evil that we perceive and learn accordingly. It is indeed a classroom, a school. We know as kids that we don't understand. Whenever we come across a problem that presents as a problem to us, a pain or a lack of joy, something boring or miserable, we respond by attempting to put it right. Typically we see it as an external thing, so it might move the thing from us. Sometimes we realize, it's not the fault of the external, it's something I've got wrong in my understanding. And our understanding starts to change accordingly. Our values shift. We become a different person. Hopefully in the right direction. If we got it wrong, well, we'll know about it by its consequences. We won't necessarily know what's wrong, but we will start searching, trying to find out. We may well seek advice, and the advice may or may not be wrong, and we'll find out accordingly. Or we'll dismiss some advice, rightly or wrongly, because rightly or wrongly we think that's not going to be helpful, and know that. We might find we seem to be up against a wall. We don't seem to find out how to remove the harm that we're suffering from. We need help, we need a miracle, we need someone from outside who can help us. Someone with wisdom, someone with, ideally, spiritual maturity may help. We may recognize it as help, or we may avoid it and scorn it and continue suffering. And this suggested help may be wrong, which is what we think is the case, which is why we're scorning it. And we could be right. It could be some other answer. But we gradually find out. So there are rules to this dilemma. Seek what you understand to be good company. Understand God to be your heavenly dad, loving and kind, loves you. That helps your reasoning. Seems to. There may be something even better, that you see him as your eternal friend. But, well, the dad thesis seems to be an incredible blessing, so stick with it. Don't fix what doesn't seem to need fixing yet. Keep good company, good environment, good media, good influence, good literature, good fantasies, not bad ones. And you'll get it wrong, to some extent. But you'll be motivated in the right direction. And you'll come through. This is our hope. Why? Because our God all-powerful loves us. He is our hope. And it's found by practice, that such a view is extremely beneficial and helpful. Taste and see. Doesn't have to be proved to you any other way. It's not too hazardous. Well, as far as I know. Bless you.